95. If you call now, we'll include a $5 gift certificate for future purchases. Call 1-800-257-5700 now.
Every night we find a little more out about how the weather works and how it's going to turn out tomorrow. And that's what we bring to the viewers. It's the mystery of weather.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
And thunderstorms continue to get a bit frisky as we work our way into parts of Arizona. More on that in a moment. But we'll start things out first with Storm Watch, talking about our tropical update. And a reminder that this Storm Watch is sponsored by Home Depot. Let's start out with our tropical storm, and I'm talking about Francis there in the western Gulf of Mexico. A lot of you may be plotting at home, and certainly if you're watching from the Texas coast, you're watching with particular interest, wondering what Francis is going to do. Our tropical storm is centered at 25.5 north and 95.0 west, 155 miles east of Brownsville, Texas. Sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. Central pressure at 995 millibars. The thing that's rather disconcerting is the fact that it's nearly stationary and has been for around the past 24 hours or so. So until you can really get an idea of what the path is going to be, you have to see some sort of movement. So we're going to sit and watch this, and there are some indications as some of the pressures seem to be dropping just a bit, the central pressure, some indication that maybe as this continues to churn over open warm water, this might have a chance to maybe strengthen a bit. We'll keep an eye out for that. Tropical storm warnings exist here from High Island, Texas, all the way back down to Tampico, Mexico. And looking at it from a satellite perspective, it's important to note that although it's been very tough to actually find the center of circulation with this, that is less important. The important thing is to note that we are already finding very gusty winds and very heavy rain into eastern portions and southeastern portions of Texas. Now, when you have this tropical moisture, you don't have to have these high cloud tops with the big thunderstorms and a lot of convection here to get heavy rain. You can have a scenario that looks just like this from a satellite perspective, and you know it's been raining. As a matter of fact, some of the Doppler radar estimates estimating a good 4 to 6 inches have already fallen in portions of extreme southeastern Texas. And certainly there is more to come. As a matter of fact, if we see the slow movement continue, there may be more of a problem perhaps with flooding. We'll have to certainly keep an eye out for that. For the time being, though, I might add that any moisture we get in this region is certainly very, very much welcome. Many of these areas have a deficit of at least 6 inches so far for the year. So some welcome moisture in and around Brownsville. We'll see if we're going to find the bulk of the moisture moving in this direction or perhaps further southward. That all remains to be seen. Keep in mind, though, there are some road closures as a result of the gusty winds and the heavy rain. And as the rain continues, we'll certainly have to keep an eye out for flooding. Couple of points to make there. We go into southeastern Louisiana, some of the low country here, and we're going to find some pretty significant rains moving on through. It looks like the heaviest stuff might be falling to your south and west, but if you're watching from the Big Easy, certainly some of these showers will be moving across the French Quarter, across Jackson Square, and you can expect that rain to be with you as long as Francis remains stationary out there in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's venture a little bit further eastward, and there again you can see all the convection and you can see the results of Tropical Storm Francis there in the Gulf of Mexico. Other than that, not a whole lot to talk about going on into the Caribbean. And again, things looking pretty good in and around the islands. Looks like western sections of Puerto Rico, maybe a few showers there. And we've had a few waves moving off the coast of Africa. We'll keep an eye on some of this, even though there's not a whole lot of convection associated with it. Oftentimes, we can still see some development. And finally, we'll take you hopefully back home here and show you quickly where we still have quite a bit of moisture and the potential still for a few stronger thunderstorms working into southwestern and western sections of Arizona, southeastern California.
Following in the footsteps of Earl, we have another tropical storm in the Gulf. The latest information plus the National Outlook on Weather Center after your local forecast.
This program was sponsored by the Home Depot.
As a customer, you're so important to us that you should have the best price all the time.
Why shop somewhere else when you know every day you're going to come to the Home?
Severe weather in the west has died down. Rain and snow showers in the northeast and New England are also withering away. The big story tonight, storm-wise at least, is our tropical storm over the Gulf of Mexico. Hi, I'm Dave Schwartz. This is Storm Watch. We begin with our tropical update. And here are the latest data on Tropical Storm Francis, 10 o'clock Central Time. You'll notice the center of circulation, or at least one of them, I'll get to that in a minute, 23.5 north, 95.5 west, placing the center of one of the circulations at 200 miles southeast of Brownsville. Maximum winds now up to 45 miles per hour, and the pressure is down. So this tropical storm, which was named a tropical storm earlier today, is slowly strengthening. Now, when you see a map like this, and you see a dot that looks like that, that is the placement of the last position as of 4 o'clock Central Time. So you've got to think, okay, well, this thing is moving south, moving away from the United States, and we've got nothing to worry about. Well, nothing could be further from the truth, because what this is a very broad, disorganized circulation. It's there. It's windy over the western Gulf and along the Texas Gulf Coast, but there's no one clearly defined center. And each time the Hurricane Hunter Air Force reconnaissance plane goes in there, they find different spin-ups, different little areas of low pressure. So this afternoon and yesterday, it appeared as if right here was the center. Tonight, as of 10 o'clock, it appeared as if this was the center. The storm itself has not moved south. It's in the process of forming, and it's still a very volatile situation as to exactly where it is, to say nothing of where it's going. I'll get into that here in just a second. Tropical storm force winds already occurring along the coast. More are likely. So from High Island, Texas, back through Galveston Bay, all the way down to Padre Island, Brownsville, Corpus Christi, tropical storm force winds are expected. Again, through the next 24 hours. And the same holds true here along the northeast coast of the Mexican state of Tamaulipas. Now, here's what we're up against here right now. The red indicates where the strongest updrafts are, or showers potentially. A lot here in association with land or land-sea, some kind of interface here. There's not a low center here. But perhaps, well, this is where they found a little circulation, and we can actually perhaps imagine a little cyclonic circulation in here. Can also imagine a little cyclonic circulation in here, and there's been a blow-up of thunderstorms. More showers out here. So there's a broad circulation right in here. Exactly where the center is still up for grabs. But I'll tell you what, in a situation like this, it doesn't matter where the center is. We're still going to get buffeted by rain, wind, coastal erosion, beach erosion at time of high tide. Look at some of that rain spiraling into deep South Texas. Here in Brownsville, we've measured over 4 inches of rain over the last 36 hours, and by tomorrow we could completely wipe out our annual deficit here in South Texas and in northeastern Mexico. Elsewhere in the tropical Atlantic, all is clear here in the Caribbean and out in the Atlantic Ocean. So the big story is Tropical Storm Francis. We'll get into more depth as to where we think this is going and perhaps what you can expect, what you might want to know about as we head toward this one of the last weekends of summer in the Gulf of Mexico, plus areas of the country that are not being impacted at all by this are feeling a chill here tonight. We'll get the forecast tomorrow, next on Weather Center.
We're keeping a close watch on Tropical Storm Francis and its potential path toward the Gulf Coast. The most up-to-date information is ahead on Weather Center after your local forecast.
It took you